Hello everyone, and welcome back to a new episode of Prismata. Get out of here, you notifications. Dr. Grain. Pretty sure we played Dr. Grain recently, or maybe we just spectated? I don't know. There's a lot going on. Double blue seems like obviously great. With Windsor and Matrix. I think a quick Windsor should lose. Well, I was gonna say because there's all this soak, but against Windsor, Doomed Wall is pretty precarious soak, isn't it? Like they can just hold the Windsor for a while if it's not doing anything much and you lose your Doomed Walls. But you can build preemptive matrices, I guess, and then if they want to hold the Windsor 3 turns in a row to deny you a single Doomed Wall, I guess, like, good for them. Player 2. I think Windsor is still good. Especially because you can, like, follow it up with a Tia. It's pretty scary. Right? A burst of 22 damage all of a sudden. I agree, it's a third NG set. But yeah. You kind of want to cut early for a Forge though? Because of Flame Animus is just so nuts. So I think I'm just gonna go DDB here, and like that's sort of a higher econ version of DB this turn for me. Like it's a compromise between cutting for Flame Animus and going third NG, and I think that should be fine. And like I'm perfectly happy to accumulate some green here. I'm gonna want quite a bit of it. Maybe you even like get an Oxide before your first Flame Animus to accumulate a little bit of extra attack cheaply while you like build some drones as well. Could third NG now. Build a bunch of drones and a Flame Animus. I wouldn't be the first one to Windsor that way, though. Is that important? It might be. I think the Oxide just doesn't really do all that much, actually. And I can still, like, build 3 drones here and build, like, an Oxide or something. Or a Flame Animus, but, like, I want to get out some blue. Oh, I kind of want a Forge here, don't I? To Windsor next turn, so next time I'm building, like, a Forge is 5, that leaves me 12. This leaves me 10 and I can triple drone, but I'm not spending my blue that way, so I don't want that NG. Not a wall, what am I thinking? A Forge. And I think just a Splitter as like a preemptive blocker for this Flame Animus is fine. Next turn I can buy the Windsor. Obviously hold the Splitter, but this is a preemptive wall that turns itself into a Splitter when I'm ready. really? 2 of them. Pretty sure more drones is good here, right? Yeah. What else could possibly be better? More tech? I don't think so. Gauss cannon? Certainly not. It just gets absorbed. I kind of feel like a Tia lined up with the first Windsor is not good enough. It just is gonna cost too many drones, but if you can line one up with like the second Windsor, you might be doing pretty well, because by that time you'll have some more other attack. Right? Just build all this stuff to line up with the first Windsor. Don't waste any attack on his Matrix that I don't have to. Do I need to worry about some fast Tia or something? I think clearly not. Even though opponent can build it next turn, it shouldn't win. Right? I think that's correct. I could build Oxides instead of these Flame Animuses, I guess. Because I don't really want a ton of red. And, like, I'll sort of have wasted damage. I'll be building more permanent attackers soon, so these will be doing fine against the Matrix after the Windsor. They're not the end of the world. I think a Matrix now leaves them pretty ambivalent about whether they should click Valk or not, which is where I want them to be. On the other hand, I also kind of want to buy my own Valk at the moment. So is a Doomed Wall right now? Like, is that making it too easy for them to deny attacks? I don't think so. Like, clearly I have to build some Prompt Defender. But I kind of want to build a Valk. They still threaten Tia next turn. That's really important to keep in mind. I think I just build a wall. Well... This is a little lame, isn't it? I kind of want to build, like, Doomed Wall Barrier, but if I do that, they clearly never click. So I guess it has to be a Force Field to incentivize them to click for 6, right? They deal 3 damage, but give me 4 barriers. 2 barriers, I mean. Whereas if this were, say, a barrier instead, it would just be, like, net neutral for them to click, and they shouldn't do it. This way, if they want to not click, and then not click, and then not click, and, like, deny my Doomed Wall value that way, they're welcome to, I guess. And I'll hold the Splitter since, it, like, the click doesn't do anything, and I don't know, maybe I would want to sack Doomed Wall somehow. I guess I hold the splitter. So, first question is, are they actually going to attack here? I'm absorbing for 6. Which means that, like, clicking with all of this stuff does relatively little, in fact. I think they won't attack. And they'll wait for next turn. And then they might still not attack because the Doomed Wall goes into the Matrix. But if they wait that long, I'm sort of okay. I'm really tempted to click the splitter, cancel NG, build, hold a drone. But I think that's probably kind of pointlessly greedy. Because, like, this click does 1 damage, but gives me 2 barriers. So if you're not clicking Windsor, I don't think you should click this stuff either. And then, of course, you could deny my Doomed Wall on a future turn by still holding Windsor. But I think if I just, like, get a Tia next turn, it's pretty much lights out. Right, like, I don't attack because they have 6 absorb, and I'm just doing 2 damage to give them 2 barriers. Kinda sucks. Like, I'm already defended, so why don't I just... I don't have the green for a Tia. Shoot. Okay, if they Tia me, I'm in a lot of trouble, actually. Okay. Well, what do I even do? Like, if I build a conduit that's just too greedy, they can Tia and then I lose, right? But I think if I don't do this, I just, like, super lose. If I can't even threaten a Tia... And if they don't Tia here, I feel like I'm okay. I should be able to reach for every drone, right? Or enough of them. I've been keeping an eye on my drone count, making sure it stays at least 12. Because now Tia followed by Windsor Click is going to be everything It's going to be literally all of my drones. Which is kind of a bummer, but... Interesting. They're not going to go for it. Is there some reason I can't defend? Doesn't seem that way. I think, like, Tia plus wall is pretty alright. I'm not even sure if I need the wall, maybe. But I think I will need the wall like when their Windsor comes in, so just like buying it early is not the end of the world. It lets me spend my blue on something good. As opposed, like, it's cheaper than just buying NGs, and I need soak, right? There's the Tia. So they're going to try to punish me for buying this conduit, and I think it's going to work. Like, this is pretty much my only play here, right? Well, you know, I mean, they have to click this Tia, so I can afford more barriers. I have 8 absorb, and they're only doing 1, 2... Maybe they could hold the Tia, I guess, if I do this. I don't think that's good, but why offer them the choice, right? I can always just barrier later, or turn this into a force field if I need it. Yeah, I think if I just, like, live through the Windsor click, I win, but I can't calculate whether I can do that. I don't think you should click Tia to kill Tia and a Rhino to kill 2 engineers. I don't know. This Tia looks like it was a little too early, I feel like. It is not doing any damage to me this turn. So you might as well just hold everything. Wow. Clicking Tia to kill 2 engineers. It really happened. Meanwhile, like... Should I do this? It takes 1 attack off the board and threatens, makes them kind of lose the Matrix, right? Could I actually get this slightly delayed counter Tia? Not even close. This is 28. So, okay. I somehow thought it was just 20. Couldn't quite read. Don't click the Windsor. Don't click anything. I don't need my Valk to win. I could keep Energy Matrix instead. Well, let's look at this first. Do I want barriers or I don't know. Okay. Interesting one. The timing and the tempo of the Tia and the Windsor was like kind of complicated. I'm not sure about these flame animuses. Also, I guess I should have gotten a second conduit at some point. Like, I didn't really foresee the fact... Like, I just sort of said, like, look, I have 4 right now. I'm going to have 5. How could I ever not have enough for Tia? Sort of what I was thinking, although not in so many words. And... you didn't really think through, like, how much green you have to spend to defend a Windsor, right? If, like, sometime back here, one of these drones or something had been a conduit, I wouldn't have been able to build this Engie. But I'd have 1 more green this turn, and then 2 more green this turn. And suddenly it's like, hey, that kind of adds up to 3, doesn't it? 2 more green now, right? I could Tia here. Is that good? Would that be a killing blow? I'm not sure. My opponent saw that it was kind of hard to get enough value, like enough damage through this blue soak. But I had a lot more like backline attack to go with it, right? I'm up. They have 2, I have 5. They have Rhino tempo, sure. So they kind of have 4 and some soak, whereas I have 5 and not soak, in a way. And so if I had been able to Tia, I might have gotten into a similar position as they did. But I feel like my Tia is just better because I have, like, enough extra attack that Tia isn't wasting her time on barriers and absorbed matrix. Right? I feel like having bought the Tia, you need to hold it here. It's just not correct to click. Let these barriers die off. And, you know, if that means that you hold your Tia until you... I don't know, you only get 1 Windsor click, so... I guess there's... Yeah, that's sort of a problem, too, is that having built the Tia, you now have so few drones, you're never going to have a turn where it's amazing to click the Tia. Like, I guess it would be on the turn where you hold back... Or the turns when you actually want to click this, right? First you click neither of these 2, and then you click both. And, like, it's a Tia over 6 turns, which kind of sucks. But it's better than a Tia that only does 2 damage, isn't it? Of course, the second Tia click is, like, clearly, I think, correct? I don't know. I'm absorbing 6. If you click the Windsor, obviously you click the Tia, but the problem is if you click the Windsor, like, don't you just lose? So maybe you continue holding them both? And at that point, like, what have you really accomplished? You sack 7 drones to make me build 7 defense, but if you never actualize the threat by clicking it, I don't know. So, complicated game. I easily could have lost this one. And I don't really understand, like, in great detail what led me to win. Obviously, like, not building a Tia and just defending is one way to look at it, but, like, why was that correct? Threatening Tia was also maybe important, but I don't know. Maybe the answer is, like, I had more attackers, and therefore I won, right? And more drones. With all this soak, you don't want to cut yourself off from building stuff. I guess is one surface level thing you could look at as like a general rule that might explain why you could find this play. Okay, well, cool game anyway. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.